Starters for the Spartans. Number 1.
Welcome back to the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network, and we have another edition of the Tampa Spartans against the Eckerd Tritons, live from the MacArthur Center in St. Petersburg, after the Eckerd women took down Tampa by a score of 69-56. Once again, I'm Josh Sperber, joined by my broadcast partner, Nate March, who saw a whole lot of Eckerd action over Thanksgiving break, and they got out to a solid last couple of games. 3-2 are the Tritons with 2 back-to-back wins big over Thanksgiving.
Well, Coach Lessing and I talked about over Thanksgiving week, they needed get-right games, and they got them against the Puerto Rico teams, Bayamon and Mayaguez. But now it gets tough again, diving right back into conference play. Coach Lessing said he'd be imparting on this team how important a stretch like this, where you get multiple home games in 1 week in conference play, doesn't happen often. They need to take advantage here with some home cooking.
And there, you have to be right before these conference games. So Tampa, like their female counterparts, 0-1 in conference standings. Still a lot of really solid players on this team. And this is a huge game for Eckerd, who is also 0-1 in conference play.
That was Tampa team led by Ryan Blount, the sophomore from Oviedo. And he's averaging upwards of 21 points a game, shooting 40% from 3. This is year 3 under Link Darner, a national championship winning coach from this conference. The 2015 national title in Florida Southern. He's been crafting this Tampa program in his image for 3 years now. And you can see they gave Nova Southeastern everything they could handle. That's the number 1 team in the current reigning champions. So this Tampa team is certainly a test coming in here for the Tritons.
Tritons with a loss to Barry just before Thanksgiving. As I mentioned, overall 4-2. While Tampa comes in with an overall, Tampa's 4-2, Eckerd's 3-2, and apparently I can't read. But starting lineup for the Tampa Spartans, Ryan Blount features, as Nate mentioned, Ian Higdon, the forward. The other 3 guards, along with Blount, Camden McCormick, BJ Schaefer, and Trey Lane. And here is Nate March with the Eckerd Tritons starting lineup.
Well, for the Tritons, the sure, steady hands of Koa Baker, averaging 19 points per game. Wyatt Treisman's also been explosive, 16.4. Mikel Jampart played really well in the games over Thanksgiving. Carlos Cortillo returns to the starting lineup after Dante Bouchard had supplanted him in that starting point guard spot. And Jacob Davis gets the nod as the man in the middle, as Timothy Thompson just has never quite gotten going this year, so an opportunity for him maybe to ease his way into the game coming off the bench.
And Jacob Davis was one of the most impressive parts of Eckerd's first couple of home games. Is looking like a solid big for this Triton side. I'm excited to see him start. Curious to see Timothy Thompson's response to coming off the bench, as he's been a regular starter for the last few years. But those 2 bigs for Eckerd, always key. At the tip-off, won by the Spartans, and they will control. Ian Higdon wins the jump for Tampa. Now bringing it across the court is BJ Schaefer, averaging 16 a game, second in among Tampa starters. That one is flipped over towards McCormick. He goes inside, pump fake. Davis goes up with him and disrupts the shot. Wyatt Treisman taking it the other way for Eckerd. Jampart swings it. Cortillo, the open 3, rims out, no good. And it's rebounded by Ian Higdon. Tampa running and gunning so far as Schaefer puts it up off the glass, no good. Davis picks up the loose rebound. Now Wyatt Treisman coming in for Eckerd. Solid all-around player. Transferred from Westchester Community College. Swings it to Jampart, no good. Davis tips it back, but it's scooped up by Trey Lane. Starter last year for Tampa as well. A nice quick guard, quick hands, and a good shot as Tampa takes it over on the left wing. Swings it all the way across to Schaefer. Open look from 3, no good, it rims out. And Jampart picks up the board. He spins around Schaefer. Jampart flips it out to the side. Cortillo back to Treisman as the Tritons settle it up. Shot clock down to 20 as Koa Baker, Eckerd's leading scorer through their first 5 games. Drives in, takes it with a left hand, tough shot, and Koa Baker puts it through. First point of the game from who else but Koa Baker on a tough running layup.
Pretty clear Tampa wants a track meet.
And Schaefer almost ran himself right out of bounds, but it looks like a foul was called on Eckerd And foul trouble, especially with the Triton bigs, has been something to watch out for Eckerd, as Wyatt Treisman picks up the first team foul of the night for Eckerd. Stack play ready for Tampa with Caden McCormick ready on the inbound underneath the basket. Schaefer now has it, guarded by Treisman at the top of the key. After the cross, he dishes it over to Blount, leading scorer, and his pass is picked off. Wyatt Treisman comes up with it. He'll take it up himself, gives it to Cortillo, who crosses the timeline with the rock. Now back to Youngpart as Eckerd looks to swing. Koa Baker inside to Hall. He's going to post up on Higdon. Davis, the hook shot, it's good. And Jacob Davis moving like a big down low, and Eckerd up by 4. Now Tampa coming in with Ryan Blount, one of the leading scorers for Tampa over the past few seasons, as Schaefer goes up, under, and around the Tritons for Tampa's first point of the afternoon. And the Spartans have Mati Spin checking in by the scorers table. He's ready to go, and so is Jacob Davis. 2 shots, 2 buckets as Youngpart picks it clean, gets his own board, and gets another one. Miguel Youngpart out of nowhere with the steal, and Eckerd up by 6 with some great full court press.
Triton's opportunistic, and that forces Tampa to slow down as Eckerd's able to get back and be set in their defense.
3 ball thought about by McCormick. He pulls up. Now it's Blount who gets it. Fadeaway jumper, and falling to the ground with the first triple of the second game is Ryan Blount. Over 20 points a game for the Spartans so far this season.
He's a 40% three-point shooter, and he'll get them up from everywhere.
8-5 the score. Eckerd out in front, just past the 3-minute mark of this second half. As Treisman has at the top of the key, shot clock down to 10. Cortillo on lane as he flips it to Davis. Davis spins around his man, pokes it off the glass for 2.
Davis using those big hips to create space for himself in there, turning those into relatively easy finishes.
And the decision to start Jacob Davis already looks like it's paying off handsomely. Almost a steal from Koa Baker. Tampa can't turn it around quick enough as Lane gets the double off the screen. Now McCormick from deep, no good. Davis tips it up to himself, and he holds on to the rebound. Jacob Davis, 3 for 3 from the field and 2 boards in his first start. Now Baker goes backwards. Treisman from the corner, front rim, no. Davis had a piece, but it looked like it was B.J. Schaefer who came up with the save and the board for Tampa. Blount is fouled. That is going to be the first on Miguel Youngpart, and the second team foul for the Eckerd Tritons. 10-5 the score, 4 minutes have elapsed in this first half, so we'll take a short break with Eckerd leading Tampa by 5 on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
Get a preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. For 30 years, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill has been the official gathering spot for Tampa Bay Rays fans. Located in downtown St. Pete, Ferg's encompasses nearly 2 city blocks with both indoor and outdoor seating with live music. When watching your next Tampa Bay sporting event, check out Ferg's. Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Novak & Powell. To achieve your financial life on better terms, thank the financial service advisors of Novak & Powell at novakpowell.com. Novak & Powell helps from managing and preserving your wealth to leaving a legacy for your loved ones. Thank you to preferred hotel partner of Eckerd Athletics, Residence Inn. Experience a peaceful waterfront getaway.
Josh Sperber, Nate March here for some Eckerd College basketball as the Tritons are off to a pretty hot start. 5 for 9 shooting against the Spartans, and they had an epic showdown the last time they met in St. Pete at a different campus.
Right.
But a late game win for Eckerd, which was the last Tritons win against Tampa, who resoundingly took the second meeting last season at the Bob Martinez Center.
Yeah, I remember kind of the promise that we felt for where the season was heading after that win over at St. Petersburg College. Tampa really found their way to improve over the course of the season the way the Tritons didn't exactly last year. Yeah, I think those fortunes could be changing.
Foul call. That's going to go against the Tritons. I believe that's against
It's on Taiwo.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was on Taiwo or Koa Baker, but that Tampa Eckerd game last year marked by a late game Isaiah Placide winner with about 2 seconds to go as Ryan Blount rims out his first miss of the day, and now it's going the other way with Eckerd. Still up 5 with 15 and a half to go in the first half. Cortillo with a zipped pass to Koa Baker, finding Taiwo. Long range and off the back of the iron, no good. And Eckerd 0 for their first 4 from behind the arc, a pattern that we have seen before as Justin Taylor checked in for Tampa. He gets the pass from deep and a corner 3 into the pocket, and it's a 2-point game in favor of the Tritons. They're taking it the other way very quickly. Koa Baker driving baseline. Tough shot, no. Good job by Thompson to avoid the foul, but it's a rebound for Tampa. Schaefer not wasting any time, spins around Treisman and ties the game with a running layup.
Schaefer's really used the diversity of his offensive game to get the Tritons off balance in terms of how best to guard him early.
Clever shooting for Schaefer so far, 2 for 4 from the field. As the score is knotted at 10. Cortillo goes around the Thompson pick. Treisman finds a look from deep, and Eckerd's shooting woes continue from beyond the arc as Treisman misses for a Triton turnover.
Neither of these teams are particularly great three-point shooting teams. And Tampa's got Blount, but not much else. They only shoot about 30% as a team. Tritons are at 35%, but they haven't really created the look you'd hope for early. That was a bit of a long one, forced up by Wyatt Treisman.
And Brady Patterson, one of the better 3 shooters for Eckerd last year, is waiting by the scorer's table as the Spartans whip it around for Blount. Now it gets to Kyler Lamb. Schaefer kicks it into the corner. Blount on Taiwo. He turns 4 to shoot. Long range off the front of the rim from Taylor, no good, and Taiwo gets the board. Taiwo's going to take Blount on one-on-one. Oh, the reverse layup, no. Thompson can't tip it back in, and here come the Spartans. 2 close range shot missed by Eckerd as Blount takes it himself. Great D from Koa Baker, and I think he knocked it off of Blount. Yes, he did. Great defense from Koa Baker as the Tritons make a pair of substitutions. Carlos Cortillo, Wyatt Treisman out. In for Eckerd, Brady Patterson and Caden Walton. B.J. Schaefer also exits for Tampa. Trey Lane returns to action for the Spartans. He's guarding Patterson as Patterson flips it over to Baker. 20 on the shot clock as Walton gets it at the top of the key, guarded by Blount. Patterson loses the ball. Lane got a hand on it. Walton dives to the ground to pick it up, and a jump ball is forced as Justin Taylor joins the fray. Taylor and Lane for Tampa, but Eckerd and Caden Walton get the possession error.
Well, that sequence pretty emblematic of how the last few minutes since the media timeout have played out. It's just been a mad scramble, in both directions. Tritons haven't scored in a little over 3 minutes. Tampa not exactly setting the world on fire. As long as we have the stoppage for the wet spot. Now, I was just going to mention, Koa Baker again baiting Blount into that deep drive, getting stuck on the baseline. A possession to go.
Kick ball, easy call for the referee as it is off Trey Lane on the pass from Patterson.
And it gets the Tritons about 13 extra seconds on the shot clock, as after the jump ball with only 10 seconds left, that had a chance to be dicey for them with the ball going all the way back to midcourt.
Baker will inbound. He gives it right to Patterson as the clock ticks back under 20 seconds. Flips it to Taiwo, draws the double. Patterson gets an open look. Long range off the back of the iron, and once again, the Tritons can't hit from deep. Now it's Tampa. Blount taking with his right hand, trying to get around Walton. Spins, turns, fires, no good. It bounces off the rim for Timothy Thompson. Here comes Patterson now, quickly moving up the court, gives it to Baker. Baker in the left hand, draws the double team. Foul on the floor, and Eckerd will get the ball underneath their basket for the inbound. 10-10 the score. It's been almost 4 minutes since Eckerd has had a basket as Kyler Lamb gets hit with a foul. And Mikael Yumpart will replace Koa Baker as he checks in for the first time today. Back in for Tampa with Spin exiting. Caden McCormick rechecks in for Tampa. 22 on the shot clock as Walton gets the inbound from Taiwo. Now Patterson moves. Nice little bounce pass, but Tampa gets a hand on it. And it went off of Eckerd nonetheless. So a turnover for the Tritons on a nifty attempt on the pass from Patterson.
Tampa's already turned it over 4 times themselves. Second one they've forced, though, on the Tritons.
Each team with 8 boards for the first about 7.5 minutes as Lane gets it up top. McCormick off the screen, tries to drive on Taiwo, who seals him out. Tough shot on the turnaround, no good. Walton rips it out of the hands of a couple other people. And now here comes Patterson going the other way with it. Patterson doing it by himself, now gives it back to Walton. Hayden Walton blocked by Kyler Lamb, and now Tampa will take it the other way. Lane sending it down now for Taylor. In now is Grady Schwartz, the sophomore out of Jacksonville. Corner 3 for Tampa. Lamb pops and misses. Taiwo picks up the rebound.
Well, that was an ugly miss for how long he had to line that up.
Yumpart spins around the shooter, off the backboard, no, but the foul called. Kyler Lamb, who just missed that last 3 for Tampa, is hit with his second personal foul. He has both of Tampa's team fouls, and that will lead us to a timeout. Just under 12 to go in the first half, and it's been a back-and-forth contest that is still tied. 10 for Eckerd, 10 for Tampa. About a minute for us to come back on the Sunshine State Conference.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions.
The national championship.
Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined.
10-10 the score. We've got a nice night of basketball. First of 2 conference doubleheaders for the Tritons as they'll take on Lynn on Saturday. Nate March and I will have the call, and it'll be alumni night here at Eckerd with a food drive to go along with it. So make sure to come out for men's and women's against Lynn on Saturday, December 6th. Here on this Wednesday night, it is 10-10. Tritons and Spartans deadlocked as Mikel Yumpart fires up the first of 2, misses from the free throw line, where Yumpart is now 11 for 15 on the season. A Spanish international in his second year with the Tritons puts up another free throw. This one rims up and in, and Yumpart is on the board. 11-10 now the score in favor of Eckerd. Justin Taylor, Grady Schwartz, Trey Lane, Camden McCormick, and Ryan Blount on the floor for the Spartans as Taylor spins it over to Schwartz. Thompson picks him up down low. No chance for Schwartz there. Blount is stuffed. Taiwo and Thompson there, and Yumpart gets the board. Great defensive possession for Eckerd as Taiwo comes screaming down the court and pulls back to dish it to Walton. 20 seconds on the shot clock as Patterson tests Trey Lane. Holds up the 3, and now Walton gets it from Taiwo. Back to Patterson as the clock ticks down to 13. Taiwo to Yumpart, swings to Walton. Patterson from the corner, it's good! First 3 ball of the night for Eckerd, and it's Brady Patterson who brings the Triton lead to 14-10. Schwartz in control now. Trey Lane driving the baseline. His pass is tipped away. Patterson with the knockdown, and Yumpart picks up the steal. He's got a full head of steam, but loses possession. Ryan Blount on the takeaway. And now here comes Taylor. Taiwo there. Taylor misses. Rebound tip to Yumpart. Great job by Tim Taiwo on the defense. Now Patterson. Fast break triple. He hits again. Brady Patterson. 2 threes in a row. Tritons take the largest lead of the game, and Lane misses on the other end. Taiwo with the easy board. Here comes Walton, driving baseline, gets physical with Schwartz and sticks it in. Hayden Walton with the big man move in the post, and Eckerd on a run leading to the timeout. A minute and a half ago, it was tied at 10. 9-0 run for Eckerd in the last minute 33, and a Tampa timeout with 10 to go in the half. Eckerd up by the game's largest lead of 9 when we return.
A preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. For 30 years, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill has been the official gathering spot for Tampa Bay Rays fans. Located in downtown St. Pete, Ferg's encompasses nearly 2 city blocks with both indoor and outdoor seating with live music. When watching your next Tampa Bay sporting event, check out Ferg's. Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd.
A furious run in between timeouts for Eckerd. They are up 9-0 in the last minute and a half. Tampa without a bucket in the last 4 minutes and a half, as they will bring up the ball with B.J. Schaefer, as Tampa has put their entire starting lineup back in the game. Schaefer out to the three-point line with Jacob Davis defending. Blount picked up by Taiwo. Blount stays up. Taiwo with a lockdown defense, but Blount spins. High arcing shot. Difficult look, but it falls for Ryan Blount. He has 5.
Sometimes the best way to break a long scoreless drought is just get it in the hands of your best player and say, make something happen for us.
We saw it plenty of times from both sides in game number 1 as Patterson's pass is almost picked. Pocket from Treisman, but a block on the other end from Tampa. B.J. Schaefer elevates to stop Yumpart as the pass from McCormick misses long. Trey Lane picks up the mess, no good on the 3, but the rebound is picked up by Higdon. Now back to McCormick with 18 on the clock. Patterson picks him up from 3. Pass the screen, swing pass. Blount open from 3, and it's good. Ryan Blount with his second triple of the day, and it's 19-15 Eckerd.
Even when the ball's on the opposite side of the floor, you can't lose track of Blount. That's too good of a look to give him.
And Ryan Blount, 6'6", but certainly looks taller, as Patterson with the putback. Picks up the miss, and Brady Patterson, those 2 huge threes, and now that putback attempt, he's got 8. Higdon, picked up by Davis, goes back to Blount. He'll try again from 3, and he misses. Brady Patterson grabs his second board of the game. Pass knocked away by Lane, but he dives out of bounds. Crashed into the stands, but gets up relatively easily. That could have been a lot worse, but we're glad Trey Lane is all right.
Yeah, he sort of slid up to the stands, and thankfully not too solid of a collision.
As Wyatt Treisman will inbound for the Tritons, and Koa Baker returns to action, replacing Tim Taiwo. It is Baker, Treisman, Patterson, and Davis on the floor. Yumpart, I believe, will stay on as he gets a little rap from the trainer. So Baker, Patterson, Treisman, Yumpart, and Davis for Eckerd. Blount, McCormick, Schaefer, Higdon, and Lane, the starting 5 for Tampa, are the 5 on the floor for each side. Under 9 minutes to go in the half, Eckerd leads by 6. Patterson takes it across the timeline, well defended by Lane, and he picks his pocket. Trey Lane all to the rack by himself, and Patterson's called with a foul. He did swipe at the ball. The ref saw enough contact for an and 1. And Trey Lane with the steal, fast break, and hoping for one more at the line.
That's one where you probably just got to go with the flyby if you're Patterson. Didn't have an angle to do anything. At his height, unless you time the jump perfect, you're not going to block it. So sometimes just challenge up until and then fly on by, the better approach.
And Trey Lane makes him pay. Converts on the three-point play attempt, his first 3 of the game. And that the first free throw attempt for Tampa. They're 1 for 1. Lane still guarding Patterson at the top of the key. He'll take a screen from Davis. In his right hand, Patterson up and under, and Brady Patterson with another bucket. 10 points off the bench for Brady, and Eckerd leads by 5.
Did not have the 10-point half for Patterson on my bingo card.
And an up and under from McCormick. Nice reverse layup to get the bucket. Lead back down to 3 as we pass the 8-minute mark. Carlos Cortillo proceeding to the scorer's table for Eckerd. Treisman takes it down the baseline, shovels it over to Baker. He's got some room. Baker spins, fires to Treisman. Open three, and he hits! Wyatt Treisman drawing some contact and hitting the triple. Eckerd's made their last 4 threes in a row. Blount rims out, and Baker flies in for his second board of the day. Now Baker brings it up himself. Treisman, a heat check shot off the front of the rim, but right to Yumpart. Shot clock up to 20. Yumpart to try from 3. It's good! Yumpart doing his part as the Tritons have made 5 of their last 6 from deep to take a 9-point lead once again. Schaefer spinning around Treisman, somehow holds his footing, rims out, and he gets the ball off the tip from Higdon. Shot missed, and Davis secures the board. Yumpart picking up speed, driving on Schaefer, up and under, and kisses it off the glass. Double-digit lead for the Tritons for the first time tonight.
Well, if you're going to play at the tempo Tampa's playing at, you have to play it in both directions. They're not getting back on defense right now.
And the Tritons matching them step for step in tempo. These are two teams that tend to play on the faster side. 31-20 Eckerd, as that one is up and no good from McCormick. Treisman skies in for the board over his teammate. Yumpart gives it to Treisman. Baker trying to get it inside. I think that's going to be a foul on McCormick. Either a reach in or an over the back. We'll get full confirmation on that after the timeout. We're under 8 minutes, 6:20 to be exact. 31-20 Eckerd all over Tampa in game 2 of this conference doubleheader.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans.
It was a bit of a slow start for Eckerd offensively, but boy have they revved up the engines in the last few minutes. 31-20 in a game that was 10-10 about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Well, Josh, they're getting to the rim in transition at will. Their shooters are trailing and getting out to the wings. And Tampa, they're playing at the tempo they want, but when they don't make shots, they're not getting back defensively. And the Tritons are just absolutely making them pay again and again.
The speed of Eckerd has been quite prominent tonight as Koa Baker crosses up his man. He is well guarded by Martis. And now Hall gets it, goes back to Baker, 4 on the shot clock. He goes baseline, tough shot, and Baker hits. Acrobatic move from Koa Baker, who gets himself back on the board. Baker with 4 in today's game. And the Tritons on a 10-0 run. Long range from Matee, and he hits from 3. Eckerd taking it the other way quickly. Baker guarded by Marti once again. Baker and Davis in the 1-2. He gets pushed to the ground. Ian Higdon, the Kentucky native, is going to get hit with the foul. That is Higdon's first, team's 5th. And it'll be a side out for the Tritons. We saw the bonus getting clocked in at 5 in the women's game. In the men's game, it is 7 for a 1-and-1. And then once you get to 10, you get your 2 shots. 5.5 to go in the first half, 33-23 in favor of the Tritons, who are now shooting exactly 50% from the field after that last Eckerd bucket from Koa Baker, who will inbound the ball, guarded closely by Malachi Martis. Baker gets doubled. Taylor and Martis there. Baker gets sent to the ground. And I believe it's going to be Taylor on the foul.
Looked that way to me. 2 Spartans there, of course. Nope, they give it to Martis.
Well, I knew it was one of the two. Just guessed wrong, as per usual. Malachi Martis, the first year from St. Martin, picks up the 16th foul for the Spartans. Shot clock up to 20. A great move by Yumpart. Blount tips it back to him, and Yumpart gets it to fall. Way to stay with that play for Mikhail Yumpart, and he's got 8.
Tritons are dominating second chance, bench points, points in paint, and fast break points right now.
Pull up from mid-range, and Blount sticks it from the free throw line. He leads all scorers with 10, as the lead back up to 10 for Eckerd. Cortillo is doubled. Davis, and he picks it. He turns it over for Taylor on the interception. Blount taking Treisman, draws the pump fake, and makes it look easy with the layup. Nice move by Blount to get his 12th and cut the deficit to single digits. But B.J. Schaefer responds with the foul, so that is the 6th personal for the team. The last side out before free throws start coming from Eckerd. Pair of substitutions for the Spartans. Ian Higdon exits along with B.J. Schaefer. Entering the game, Matee Speen and Trey Lane for Tampa. So Speen, Lane, Taylor, Martis, and Blount for the Spartans. Baker, Davis, Yumpart, Treisman, and Cortillo for Eckerd. Yumpart with a tough layup, but Davis gets the board and his hand gets slapped. Foul called. Jacob Davis will go back to the line for 2 shots.
4 rebounds for Davis, a half dozen for Yumpart. Tritons are +9 on the glass.
And something I feel like we didn't talk about in game 1 was Eckerd's domination of the rebounding, and we're seeing the same thing in this men's game between Eckerd and Tampa. Tritons have completely controlled the glass tonight.
I would argue it's complete opposite reasons, though. In the women's game, we saw Tampa not contest the offensive glass at all, and if anything, I feel like Tampa's men have overemphasized it without being in good position to do so, and that is what has led to the disparity in fast break and second chance points, where even if the first shot down the court is missed, the Tritons have better positioning to get a second chance.
And that speed certainly factoring in for Eckerd, as Timothy Thompson's re-entrance will have to rate, with Davis missing both free throws. Taylor crosses the timeline as we approach the 4-minute mark of the first half. Eckerd up 8. Taylor sends a high arcing pass to Blount. Goes towards the free throw line, gives it to Taylor from long range, no good. And the rebound goes to Davis. His 5th of the day, second among Tritons players, as Yumpart has 6. Cortillo gets the skip pass from Baker. Now off the Treisman screen, 15 on the clock. Cortillo flips it to Baker, corner pop, short. Treisman on a tough catch, almost made the play, but Tampa gets the rebound. Trey Lane quickly making things happen. Cortillo picks his pocket, and Yumpart picks it up. Tampa with a 2, or Eckerd with a 2-on-1. Yumpart, tough layup, and a blocking foul called. 2 shots for Yumpart as Eckerd is in the bonus. Taylor with the foul call, his first, team's 8th. But before the free throws, we will have a timeout. That was a shooting foul, but Tritons will be shooting at least 1 free throw for every subsequent foul in the next 33 minutes and 33 seconds in this first half. Eckerd, 35, Tampa, 27. Final 3.5 minutes of the first half.
Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. For 30 years, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill has been the official gathering spot for Tampa Bay Rays fans. Located in downtown St. Pete, Ferg's encompasses nearly 2 city blocks with both indoor and outdoor seating with live music. When watching your next Tampa Bay sporting event, check out Ferg's. Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Novak & Powell. To achieve your financial life on better terms, thank the financial service advisors of Novak & Powell at novakpowell.com. Novak & Powell helps from managing and preserving your wealth to leaving a legacy for your loved ones. Thank you to preferred hotel partner of Eckerd Athletics, Residence Inn. Experience a peaceful waterfront getaway at Residence Inn Tierra Verde, located directly on
3.5 to go in the first half. Tritons at the line for 2 shots and up by 8. And we've talked about the rebounding. It's been a pretty clean game so far. This is just the 6th free throw attempted this entire game. Eckerd with 4 of those previous 5 attempts.
Yeah, most of the fouls we've seen have been, open court or at least out beyond the perimeter, just from the very frantic pace of the game leading to fouls.
That'll bring up Mikel Jompart to the free throw line from Alcudia, Spain. Misses the first. Tritons now 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Jompart is 1 for 3. Second shot, nothing but net. And Jompart will exit. Tim Taiwo will enter. 9-point lead now for Eckerd, 1 shy of their largest of the night, which was 10. Taylor gives it to Blount. He has been the target man for Tampa as a Spartans player is sliding across the floor. Should be a foul on Eckerd off the ball. And it's Koa Baker, on Carlos Cortillo. I only saw the one finger the ref put up. Cortillo's first, Eckerd's 5th. And with 22 seconds, Trey Lane will inbound it from underneath the Spartans basket. Lane dishes it to Blount, guarded closely by Taiwo, who despite a height mismatch is staying step for step with Blount on the defensive side of the ball. Now it's Martis, spins around Thompson. Tough shot, great disruption by Timothy Thompson as that shot does not fall. Here's Cortillo, finds some space, gets around Martis, can't go in. Thompson gives it right back to Cortillo on the board. He gets the pass, jammed through traffic, no, but a foul called, and Timothy Thompson will head to the line, and he would have brought the house down with that dunk, trying to get around 2 Spartan defenders.
He wanted to bring the whole backboard down with that one, but got hit on the way up.
Reminds me of that Shaq dunk on Patrick Ewing that almost caused the Knicks-Lakers fight back in a year that I don't really want to say for personal reasons. 9-point lead for Eckerd. Timothy Thompson at the line for the first time. Jacob Davis getting his first start over the Bahamian native as Thompson misses from the free throw line and Martis checks out for Tampa. So Malachi Martis exits, Camden McCormick enters. And now Thompson's back set at the line. Trying to push the Triton lead to double digits. And he does. Timothy Thompson on the board for the first time. 3 boards and now a bucket on the free throw line. 37-27, Eckerd lead. 3 to go in the half. Now Taylor, open look from 3 as Treisman was taken off the ball, and Taylor makes him pay. Justin Taylor, 2 threes in 4 attempts, and it's a 7-point Eckerd lead.
Triton's been real dialed in on defense. That time just absolutely misrotated and lost a man.
Cortillo lets the jumping Trey Lane go by, takes it inside the paint, and slips on the court. Ends up throwing the pass away for a turnover. And I think Cortillo might have almost just caught his own lace or something on the court as Ian Higdon re-enters the game for the Spartans.
Yeah, he just felt like he had to get rid of it to avoid traveling. I mean, Treisman wasn't even looking for that pass, and even if he were, it would have been pretty tough for him to get up to it.
Higdon bringing Thompson way out of the paint, finds Taylor in the corner. Oncoming runner is Treisman. He makes contact. Taylor misses the shot, but the golden rule violated, and 3 shots for Justin Taylor.
We hate to see this here in the last 4-minute stanza of the first half. The Tritons' defense had been so airtight, a couple of lapses, and yeah, it doesn't take many when you start talking about 3 coming at a time.
So Tampa is 1 more Eckerd foul away from the bonus. Well, Eckerd 1 more Tampa foul away from the double bonus, as Caden Walton will likely check in for Cortillo after the second shot. Taylor made the first, missed the second, and it's actually going to be Walton coming in for Wyatt Treisman. Timothy Thompson exits, Jacob Davis enters, and it's been Davis who has been getting the lion's share of these minutes in this first half, and nothing against Thompson, but Davis has earned him. He's played great so far today. As Baker picks up the rebound, Taylor goes 1 for 3 from the charity stripe. 2 minutes to go. Cortillo crosses the timeline, guarded closely by Lane. Sends it into Taiwo with Taylor on him, right at the edge of the three-point line. Taiwo on the isolation, sides out. Jacob from distance. It's good! Davis, the big man, goes from deep. And the Tritons get it back up by 9.
Well, Davis just brings so much when he's on the floor because he has that ability. He can step out and drill from distance if the entire defense is going to let him live out there without anyone on it.
Nice stretch four, nice center. Anywhere you want to put him in the front court, he can help you out. And Blount pump fakes Taiwo into the air. Taiwo recovers, hand up on Lane, disrupted the shot, and another miss from Tampa. Lights out defense from the Tritons. Here's Koa Baker spinning around Tampa. McCormick there, no foul called. And rebound goes to the Spartans with about a minute to go. All by himself, there's Ian Higdon. And he gets it to go for the Spartans, his first field goal attempt of the night. 7-point Eckerd lead as we are under a minute to go in the first half, 40-33. Cortillo gives to Taiwo with Taylor blanketing him at the top of the key. Now to Walton on a shorter lane. Now Cortillo gives it into Davis. He's got some space, and they're going to have to call that one as Davis, twice the size of Trey Lane, knocks him down and is called for the foul.
That's one where Davis was just moving a little too patiently. If he just got a quick drop step on the catch, he had the position. Let the defender get in, get established, and then bodied back on him instead.
Tough break for Eckerd there as Davis looked like he was angling towards an easy deuce. But now it's Tampa in control. 2 for 1 is out of the question. Blount gets his pocket picked. Diving to the floor of the Tritons. Caden Walton is there. And the Spartans get the benefit of this possession arrow on this jump ball. But at the start of the second half, barring a change, Eckerd gets the arrow. Hustle play from Caden Walton from DeMatha Catholic in Detroit, a school that has produced numerous NBA players throughout different eras. 18 on the shot clock, 6-second differential between shot and game clock as Taiwo is going to be whistled for a foul off the ball. And that's going to be a 1-and-1 free throw for the Spartans as Tampa now 18 fouls in the period.
I don't think the Tritons are happy about this call because it came from the official way back here at midcourt on the near side. He was sort of looking at the play from behind. It might have looked worse from that angle than it did to the underneath official.
And insult to injury, Ryan Blount, though he has not attempted a free throw today for Tampa, one of their best shooters, will be taking the free throws. Front end of the 1-and-1, misses off the back of the iron, and Walton rips down the rebound. And now Eckerd has the rest of the shot clock to themselves as Cortillo takes it across midcourt. Baker, Walton, Davis, and Yumpart with Cortillo as the clock ticks down to 7. Carlos crosses, spins, finds a lane, makes it off the glass with 3 seconds to go. Tampa in need of a heave, can't get it. And a last-ditch layup from Carlos Cortillo brings it up to a 9-point Eckerd lead. And there are a lot of things that we can talk about as that first half went great for the Tritons. But that Eckerd defense was the best I've seen it all year.
Yeah, the intensity, for the most part, they stuck with the shooters. They didn't concede anything easy around the rim, and they turned defense into offense. All around, tremendous half for the Tritons.
Coach Brian Gillespie's got plenty to like and plenty to talk about in the Tritons locker room, and we're going to step aside for the next 15 minutes or so as we're headed into halftime with Eckerd hoping to take 2 games against the Tampa Spartans in their home conference opener. 42-33 Tritons at the half. We'll be back after this.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It's been a defensive battle in Game 2 of this crosstown rivalry between the Eckerd Tritons, who lead the Tampa Spartans 42-33 in the second game of tonight's conference twin bill. The home opener won by the Eckerd women in conference play, and the Eckerd men riding exceptional defense to a great start in this first half. Nate, what have you liked from the Tritons in the half one?
Well, I like the way they've stayed locked in on Tampa's shooters. Other than a couple of times where they lost Blount, they really were locked in, finding the outside shooters and then sealing off on the glass and getting out quickly off the box outs. I started to touch on this late in the half. The number of times a shot would come off the rim and there would be 3 Tampa players beneath the free throw line, and Eckerd would still easily come away with the rebound and hit the quick outlet and be off and running with numbers. And that led to a lot of points in the paint for the Tritons, a 22-10 advantage there as they were down the floor quicker to get interior shots, and even if they missed those, opportunities for second chances out on the perimeter. The Tritons really controlled all of the stats you look at in terms of paint points, second chance points, fast breaks, and bench points. Eckerd advantages in all of those. That's the story of the game.
And some other key stats, 27-15, Eckerd leading in terms of rebounds over these Tampa Spartans, also out shooting 47% to 39%. So a solid first half for Eckerd. They bring their starters back to the court to try and maintain the same amount of control, though it is Yumpart with the ball right now. He drives inside. Treisman off the glass, but no good. He goes to the ground without a foul call. Now Schaefer is Tampa moving very quickly across the court. Lane with a give and go. He shoots off the front of the rim, but it bounces right back to him. Now Blount, open look, no good again. Baker fighting for it. He falls down hard to the ground, but gets up as Yumpart escapes on a fast break. In traffic, no. And Lane scoops up the miss. Now Schaefer furiously moving down the court. Gives it over to McCormick on the run. Running layup just underneath the basket. And he kisses it off the glass. Caden McCormick with his first point of the second half. And the lead down to 7 for Eckerd.
Don't love the decision making by Yumpart that last time down the floor. Tried to go 1-on-3, forced a real circus shot up. Yeah, the Tritons have had good transition.
And there was Treisman, but it just misses off the backboard. Good pass from Yumpart as Schaefer finds a hole and slams it home. B.J. Schaefer just escaped down the far side of the court, and he cuts the Eckerd lead to 5 with a flush.
So everything I said the Tritons were doing, getting up and down the floor in both directions, they just completely botched it both ends in that sequence there, and they've let Tampa get this back to within 5.
A rare mistake as it has seen this game, because you're absolutely right. The Tritons have been great in transition, but just not on that last play. And the first foul will go against Tampa. So Eckerd will take an out of bounds in underneath their own basket. Caden McCormick, I believe, was the culprit as he checks in at the scorer's table. For Tampa, Schaefer, Blount, Higdon, and Lane on the court. So I think they're
checking him for blood.
Yeah, just check. The trainer is next to McCormick, making sure that the red in Tampa's logo doesn't come out in an extra capacity, but it appears he is all right. Always good to see. And McCormick returns. Eckerd's trainer makes sure that the man he collided with, Koa Baker, is not all bloodied up, and he'll get fixed. It is Baker, Yumpart, Cortillo, Davis, and Treisman on the court for the Tritons. Quick couple of twos for Tampa as they're wiping off Koa Baker's left hand. Looks like he is going to stay in the game, though, so don't think there is much blood, and excellent work by Eckerd's athletic trainer there. As they'll bring in the ball, 22 on the shot clock. Loft pass from Treisman, and a good job by Koa Baker to just prevent Camden McCormick from catching it. Still off McCormick, so Baker will again inbound for Eckerd with 4 seconds off the shot clock.
It's like when the wide receiver has to turn into a defensive back on a poorly thrown ball, because that was not a good pass, but Baker got a hand in there, knocked it off McCormick to avoid the steal.
I think it got tipped on that entry from Treisman as Baker zips one to Cortillo to start off the possession. Cortillo's fouled on the way up, and he'll shoot 2. At could be considered a non-shooting foul, but Cortillo was going up. They'll call it shooting. He'll go to the line for a pair.
There seems to be some disagreement on that, and now they are going to take it underneath.
So, since I think what sold it was Cortillo had kind of turned to the left side of the court, and that must have made the refs think that it was not a shooting foul. So, second personal foul on the Spartans. Keeps it here. Treisman dishes to Davis. Another corner three, rims out, no good. And McCormick picks up the loose ball. Eckerd get their numbers back. Good D by Cortillo. Now Lane from deep, swish, and it's a 2-point game.
Didn't find the shooter in transition that time.
First three of the game for Trey Lane. Tampa's 6 for 20 from deep in this one. And now down 42-40 with all of the 7 points in this half. Yumpart loses control, dives on the floor, picks it up. Can he rip it away? He can, and that'll go Tampa's way on the jump ball with the possession arrow favoring the Spartans.
As opening 2 minutes, 40 seconds of the half, the Tritons have not been as sharp, getting up the floor, transitioning defense to offense, and they certainly haven't been as sharp with the transition back from offense to defense as they're letting Tampa get to the rim in transition, and that time they lost a shooter in transition.
Something that changed that in the first half, an 8-0 run that was architected almost exclusively by Brady Patterson. He will enter in and try and play the role of super sub one more time, as he is once again the first substitution of the half, replacing Carlos Cortillo. And Patterson has played this role plenty of times before. He was the first guard off the bench as kind of the Manu Ginobili role with Dante Bouchard last season, and now doing it for Cortillo, who transferred in, as Patterson picks up Trey Lane. He's going to swing it to Higdon, guarded by Davis. Now Schaefer in his left hand. Treisman picks him up in the post. Shaver backs him down, picks it up, spins, fires, no good. Great defense by Treisman and a board for Yumpart. And for Yumpart, that is his 7th to lead all rebounders. Treisman at the top of the key, finds Yumpart, gets a mid-range jumper, no good as he drives the baseline, and Higdon comes up with a board in traffic. McCormick taking it himself, and he bumps into Davis, and a foul called. Certainly close enough to the baseline, and that slide towards the door certainly didn't help, but Davis picks up his second personal to send Caden McCormick to the free throw line.
And I think he's got a dislocated finger. Oh, yep.
Yikes. Well, that's not good.
You saw the way Lane turned away from him as he saw him hold the hand up. And yeah, they're trying to get it back into place, and they're taking him over to the bench now.
Well, we certainly hope McCormick is all right. As soon as I saw the trainer put on those rubber gloves, I knew that wasn't good. So we're wishing for a speedy recovery for Camden McCormick, who will exit for the Spartans. And he'll be replaced by Kyler Lamb, who will come in for the shooter. And unless you're Kobe Bryant with that ACL tear that one time about 15-plus years ago, this is going to be a rare time that the man fouled will not take the free throws due to injury. And Kyler Lamb pinch hitting on the free throw line for McCormick, misses the first. Lamb from Williston, Florida, 6'6" sophomore, who swishes the second. 1-point game now. Tampa with all 8 points in the second half. First 3 minutes and change have gone by as Patterson takes it across the timeline, switching it to his right hand as he gives it to Taiwo. Taiwo, Pat, and Timothy Thompson checked in at the last whistle, joining Baker, Treisman, and Brady, who has control as he gives it to Baker. 10 on the shot clock. Baker drives, rip move up and under, gets it to go, but the foul's going to be called on the floor. Koa Baker does not like that call, and that was certainly one that could have gone either way.
It looked to me like he was in the shooting motion. The entire Tritons bench reacted with a moment of jubilation, followed by a moment of consternation as they realized that they were whistling that on the floor. I don't see the justification on that one.
I think The referees thought that he went up after the contact was initially made, and that was enough. Brady Patterson with the runner, and what a game he has had off the bench. 5 for 6 from the bench, and Patterson with 12 leading the way for Eckerd. Their first bucket of the second half is Patterson, now defends Lane in the corner. Drives baseline, foul called. Patterson and Thompson were there, and it is going to be on Brady Patterson. So Timothy Thompson, who came off the bench, which he rarely does here at Eckerd, still without a foul. And it looks like, is that the media timeout?
Yeah, I know we call it the under 16. It's the exactly 16 in this case.
Yeah, I was going to say under 16, but it is the 16. So with 16 minutes left in the second half, Eckerd and Tampa will go into break with the Tritons leading by 3.
Get a preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. For 30 years, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill has been the official gathering spot for Tampa Bay Rays fans. Located in downtown St. Pete, Ferg's encompasses nearly 2 city blocks with both indoor and outdoor seating with live music. When watching your next Tampa Bay sporting event, check out Ferg's. Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Novak & Powell. To achieve your financial life on better terms, thank the financial service advisors of Novak & Powell at novakpowell.com. Novak & Powell helps from managing and preserving your wealth to leaving a legacy for your loved ones. Thank you to preferred hotel partner of Eckerd Athletics, Residence Inn. Experience a peaceful waterfront getaway at Residence Inn Tierra Verde. Located directly on the bay, the Residence Inn is a waterfront hotel just steps away from all your favorite St. Pete attractions.
4 minutes exactly have gone by in the second half, 44-41 in favor of Eckerd. But Tampa has been outscoring the Tritons, scoring all but one basket so far in the second half as Trey Lane slots in the first free throw to cut the deficit to 2. Eckerd is led by double digits. At a 10-point advantage in the first half. That Lane cuts to 1 on the second free throw. So Trey Lane is now 3 for 3 from beyond the arc as Taiwo gets it inbounds to Treisman. Tampa ramping up their pressure with Blount, Lane, and Schaefer playing half-court defense, but Taiwo gets it across the line. Koa Baker maintains possession and has it poked out, and it's off Baker. So a turnover for Koa Baker and the Tritons. And now Tampa has a chance to take the lead on this possession, down 1.
Well, Baker kept controls. He went down almost onto one knee. And I think his knee touched the hardwood, and that actually led to some slippage, which is where he lost the handle on the way back up.
Lane gets it inside. Nice pocket pass to Lamb. Thompson rips down the board, gets it away from Lamb, but he finds the loose ball. Dishes it back. Spin gets it in. And Tampa takes their first lead of the second half, up 45-44.
First lead of the night for the Spartans. It's been all Eckerd, and now
Taiwo!
Oh!
Tim Taiwo with a thunderous jam and a Tampa turnover right after that. The house brought down here at the MacArthur Center, and Eckerd takes the lead on an emphatic slam dunk by Tim Taiwo.
Did he bring a trampoline in and throw it in front of him before starting that drive? Where did that come from?
He's got springs in his shoes as Taiwo inbounds it back into Treisman. Taiwo slipping through the defense to Thompson. Yes, sir! Back-to-back great plays from Tim Taiwo, and the Tim-to-Tim connection gets the Tritons lead up to 3. Patterson pokes away the pass as a whistle's blown. It is going to be Tampa ball. There might be a foul on the play. It's a reach on Brady Patterson. Carlos Cortillo getting ready to check in for Eckerd. He will replace Patterson, who just committed his second foul. So Baker, Taiwo, Treisman, Thompson, and Cortillo for Eckerd, with Tampa bringing Taylor, Blount, Spin, Lamb, and Lane. Foul called. Taiwo will pick up his third right up against the end line, and Mikhail Yompart quickly runs to the scorer's table. He'll replace Taiwo, his third foul of the day, but that slam dunk from Taiwo has gotten Eckerd back in the lead. Now it's Tampa underneath their own basket. 22 on the shot clock, 8 seconds past the 15-minute mark of the second half. Out to Taylor. Taylor driving in on Baker. Gives it to Lamb. Now Lane trying to go baseline. Goes back to his right hand on Cortillo. Did he step out or was it a foul? And it is on Cortillo. So another foul called against Eckerd. 3 fouls during this shot clock and 5 on Eckerd after Tampa got to the bonus in the final 30 seconds of the first half.
You hate that after how Tim Taiwo just really woke this place up, and to have 3 fouls just sort of stagnate the action again.
Thompson is there. No foul called as he stands up. Kyler Lamb. Timothy Thompson with a strong defense down low, and Eckerd picks up the pieces. Yompart from deep. No good, but Thompson puts it right back up and in. Timothy Thompson. Great sequence for him on the defense, and then the offensive board to his first deuce of the day. He's got 5. Second basket. Sorry about that. As Blount works in. Nice pass to Trey Lane, who takes it on the baseline for the easy layup.
That was the first thing that looked like a cohesive actual offensive set by Tampa tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they've been benefiting from the ball just bouncing around. Both teams fighting hard for those rebounds. As Treisman gets it from deep, and he hits! Wyatt Treisman, his second triple of the evening. Tampa down now by 6 as Taylor controls. He'll try to answer, and he does. Justin Taylor with a 3, and it's a 3-point game once again. Treisman calling for the handoff. He gives it to Yompart. Now Cortillo. Thompson sets the screen on Lane. Now Cortillo, the open look, off the backboard, but no. And Lamb picks up the empty rebound. Now Lane slowly brings it up the court. 13 minutes to go with the Tritons up by 3. Blount working on Treisman, who gets him to the baseline. Frantic pass, and it's picked off. Timothy Thompson gets his hands in the passing lane as each team sends a pair of players to the scorer's table. Treisman working on Lane. He's got the size advantage, but gives it up to Baker. Baker working on a taller Kyler Lamb. Drive with his left hand. Lamb sends it right back, and Blount picks up the miss. Great defense from Kyler Lamb on the Tritons' leading scorer this season. Now Trey Lane takes the other way, rings around on the mid-range jumper, and Lane gets himself his 12th point of the night. Tampa within 1. And here's a reach-in. Trey Lane trying to get a quick hit on the fast break. It is Trey's second on the day, team's 4th. As each team makes a pair of substitution, Trey Lane will exit along with Mati Speen. And for the Tritons, Caden Walton in, along with Jacob Davis, Treisman and Thompson out. Eckerd ball, Caden Walton gets it from Yompart. Cortillo, Baker, and Davis on the floor with them as Walton takes it across the timeline, finds Yompart. Late recovery from Schaefer, but he does enough. And that one rims out of bounds on the open look from Yompart.
Coach Gillespie didn't look happy about the shot selection there for the Tritons. Wanted them to run the offense a little longer.
It might have been a little bit rushed. I mean, it wasn't a completely closed-off look, but I think I understand what Coach Gillespie was feeling. Back in now for Tampa is Ian Higdon. Replacing Speen, Malachi Martis on as well. Schaefer in control, working on Baker. Clock dips under 9 seconds. Now with 5 on the shot clock, Blount's got it, turns the corner, pull up, no good. Great defense from Eckerd as Davis picks up the board.
Made that a real tough shot for him.
Now Cortillo tries to work around defenders. Spin move, high off the glass, but it goes to Davis. No good. Can he get the tip? Cortillo dives to the ground. Walton dives to the ground. Ties up the Tampa Spartans, and it's a jump ball possession arrow going towards Eckerd. But we are under 12 minutes left in the second half, and I can actually say under now. So we'll take another break. 53-52. We've got another good one brewing between Tampa and Eckerd as you're watching Sunshine State Conference basketball.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always.
11.5 to go in this game, and we are about as even as you can get. 53 for Eckerd, 52 for Tampa. Josh Sperber, Nate March here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network for some conference action as Yumpart gets the inbound, and now Cortillo starts the spin. Gets it to Walton on the elbow, who is working on Martis. Now Cortillo with 9 on the shot clock. He dribbles around the defense. Yumpart with an opening in from 3. Dishes to Cortillo. Open look from deep. And he hits with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Carlos Cortillo with a triple. And Eckerd's lead back up to 4.
Much better patience by the Tritons that time. Working the ball, getting the look they wanted.
And Cortillo now 1 for 3 from long range as he now is guarding Justin Taylor. Taylor over to Higdon, looking inside. Getting some space on the free throw line. Taylor dials it up from long range, but he misses all of it. Air ball for Justin Taylor, and the Tritons maintain possession with just about the halfway point coming up. 10:47 to go as Taiwo sends it into Caden Walton. And the referees call time, I think, as they're going to look something over. Carlos Cortillo, I think, fell on the other side, and he's going to get a quick checkup by the Eckerd trainer. But Cortillo, now he's going to the back with the trainer. That's not what you want to see. So Brady Patterson will come on for him. Not sure what happened to Carlos Cortillo, but we certainly hope that he's all right. He's had a nice game for Eckerd so far today with 5 points, a rebound, and 2 assists. So it's Taiwo, Patterson, Yumpart, Walton, and Davis. Taiwo with Schaefer shadowing up the court. He crosses into his right hand, takes it himself, and it's good! Tough shot for Taiwo, and he's had some highlight reel stuff tonight.
Yeah, it's just a tremendous take. Sort of cocked his body back at the last second to get the extra space.
And Taiwo and Davis combine on the defense, with Taiwo taking it away from Martis for a key turnover. Here comes Brady Patterson for the Tritons, loses the handle, but that's because of the foul on B.J. Schaefer. Schaefer's got 2. That's the 5th of the period for Tampa, so each team at 5 team fouls at 5 plus 5 minutes to go.
Here's McCormick back on. They've got a hand brace on him with the thumb protruding extra and then the rest of the hand supported on the backside. I don't think it's not even a brace. It is that, I think they used an entire roll of tape making that club on him.
Yeah, it looks like it. He could play with Gene Upshaw on the Raiders offensive line with that club. As Patterson controls with Lane at the top of the key. Now Caden Walton. Taiwo cutting in. He loses it on the body of McCormick. Is it off Eckerd? No, it stays in bounds. And McCormick dribbles it off Taiwo, and he's tripped up. Caden McCormick just got accidentally flat-tired, I believe, by Tim Taiwo. Just stepped on the shoes, and McCormick still shaking off that injured hand. And the Tritons certainly don't like the call.
I believe that is the call for the challenge. Okay, Brian Gillespie looked like he. I think they're saying that they.
Number 3, Brady Patterson, now be his fourth.
That's going to be on Brady Patterson, his fourth, and that might be especially what Brian Gillespie is worried about, because out goes Patterson. One more foul, and he's out of the game as Koa Baker checks back in for Brady. But Brady Patterson, 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting. He has been a spark plug for Eckerd off the bench.
Brian Gillespie so angry on the sideline, he just he smashed a cup of water. So now hopefully the ball doesn't head back that direction too quick. They're trying to dry it up now.
McCormick gets the first shot off with the injured hand, and he's off the mark. Davis stands tall for the rebound. He's got 9. 1 point and 1 rebound away from the double-double is he, as the ref's still trying to clean up the spill next to the Eckerd bench. Reminding me of a time where Jason Kidd, when he was the Brooklyn Nets coach, knocked over a drink of, I believe, one of the Nets fans, and it led to a similar stoppage in play like this.
Yeah, well, I believe Brian Gillespie was trying to ask for the foul call to be reviewed and was told that that was not a reviewable play, that midcourt trip call right there. And I've read the rule numerous times, still trying to figure out exactly what is and is not reviewable under the new challenge laws, because Gillespie clearly gave the signal of go to the monitor, and after he was told no, he smashed that cup of water.
We'll see how his team responds as Koa Baker takes some time off the shot clock. Higdon takes it away from Davis on the entry from Baker. Schaefer with a 2-on-1, goes against Walton, and that rattles around and in. Tough shot from Schaefer. Walton doing everything he could, but it's a 4-point Eckerd lead on the Schaefer 2. 9 minutes to go in the game, 58-54 in favor of the Tritons. Walton looking inside for Davis, who's working on Ian Higdon. Koa Baker waiting for the screen. He gets it from Davis in his left hand. Baker picked up by Schaefer. Now to Taiwo. McCormick on him. Taiwo pulls up from the free throw line. No good as he hits it off the front of the rim for the Ryan Blount rebound. Here comes the Spartans now. Schaefer in his left hand. Kicks it out to Higman. Swings it to Lane. Lane in the corner. Crosses Taiwo. Down the baseline. Lazy pass. Kicked it off by Koa Baker. Turnover for Eckerd as Baker's running the court. Splits the defenders. Koa Baker with a layup. And Eckerd gets to 61st. 60-64, and that's going to be a timeout. 8 minutes and 18 seconds to go with Koa Baker taking it himself on the steal and score. 6-point Triton lead as we go to a timeout. (60-54) Eckerd. They had a lead of 9 at the half, and it's been pretty back and forth in this second half. But the Triton defense still holding strong, and they have still been ahead for almost the entirety of tonight's matchup.
Yeah, there was the one brief 45-44 lead for Tampa, and it was immediately answered by the massive exclamation point dunk by Timothy Taiwo.
That's a momentum shift that is hard to break, despite the quick succession foul calls that came after that. Since then, the Tritons have been called for just 1 foul, though, so it seems like things are a bit back to normal. Now Ryan Blount gets the entry pass as Yumpart on the wing. Blount backs down the Spaniard, turns around on the jumper, no good, and Koa Baker picks up the rebound, his 5th of the night. Tritons plus 11 rebounding over Tampa.
That's such a high degree of difficulty shot. It's not what you look for.
Wide open for Baker, but it's no good from the corner. Fighting for it, Schaefer is knocked down as Caden Walton came in like a linebacker. And that is going to go on Baker, I believe. Regardless, it's a 1-and-1, so there are going to be free throws for B.J. Schaefer and the Spartans, and I was right the first time. Fouls on Caden Walton, his first, team 7th, so as I mentioned, the bonus and a 1-and-1 for Schaefer. No free throws have been the Achilles heel for both of these teams. Eckerd 3 for 8 from the line, Tampa 5 for 9, with Schaefer going to the charity stripe for the first time. Front end of the 1-and-1 falls for B.J. Schaefer. He's got 9. Now a 60% clip for Tampa from the free throw line as timeout is called by the referee. So we're going to take a quick break. 60-55. B.J. Schaefer has another free throw to shoot, and we'll step aside for a moment here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. .740 to go in the game. Tampa in the bonus as B.J. Schaefer just took the front end of the 1-and-1 before the timeout. He's back to shoot the second for the Spartans, joined by Higdon, Lane, McCormick, and Blount, Baker, Davis, Yompart, and Walton, along with Taiwo for Eckerd, as Justin Taylor subs off the shooter Schaefer, who made 2 of 2, Eckerd up 4 with 7:40 to go. Taiwo to inbound underneath Eckerd's basket. Tampa has greatly increased their full court press as Koa Baker takes the ball from Taiwo, lends it to Yompart, back to Taiwo, and the Tritons get it across half court. 19 on the shot clock as Taiwo slows it down to the top of the key, working around the Walton screen. Taiwo with a mismatch on Taylor now, picks it up. 10 on the shot clock as he looks for the pass. Taiwo pockets it inside, up and under. Caden Walton with a deuce. Good look from Taiwo as Blount heaves it from 3. No, Taiwo scoops it up for his 4th rebound of the ball game. Taiwo taking it himself all the way across, no good, but Walton can't get the board. He tries to get it off at Tampa, flying out of bounds, and it works. Caden Walton with the hustle, and it stays here for the Tritons.
Blount still has not scored in this second half, and his shooting decisions have gotten increasingly erratic. He had that real tough 17-foot turnaround he left short a few minutes ago, and that time fired it up with 26 left on the shot clock.
0 for 4 in the second half is Blount after getting 10 points on even 5 for 10 shooting. And that is something that Tampa will need to correct if they want to get back ahead. Corner pop from Yompart, no. Ball goes to Walton, goes up and puts it in. Last 2 buckets in a row for Caden Walton, who gets an offensive rebound to boot. He's got 6. Now here comes Tampa. Blount on the baseline, spins, gives it to Higdon. The hop step, up into Davis, circus shot, and the and one. what a play by Ian Higdon as he draws contact and gets the tough one to go for the second and one of the night for the Tampa Spartans.
Higdon, I thought, played kind of tentatively tonight, but he asserted himself there.
Yeah, that was one of the most bunnies I've seen on the hop step, I think, in my entire life. That guy got up to get into the paint, and Higdon made it count. The 6'7" forward for Tampa. Can't get it to go on the free throw, so the Tritons lead stays at 6. Baker slings it across the hardwood to Taiwo, shakes his defender and finds some open space at the top of the key. Taiwo setting up a play for the Tritons with the shot clock down to 15. Baker on the elbow on the left side, looking for Yumpart. Passes up the three, dishes to Taiwo. Open look from deep off the front rim. Koa Baker sneaks in for the rebound. Shot clock didn't reset, and now the refs will call it. Tampa doesn't like that because that did not hit the rim.
No, it did. It grazed the rim. It definitely did.
That's what Tampa thought, though, and the refs clearly saw it hit the rim. We saw it hit the rim. So the shot clock will reset at 18, and Eckerd will get the side out. Koa Baker will throw it in for Eckerd. He's got 6 on the night, along with 6 boards. He'll be guarded by Kyler Lamb. Taiwo gets the inbound. The clock ticks down to 15. Rips it through and gives it to Walton. Now Yumpart on the elbow. And up and under goes Yumpart. Reach and foul called on Trey Lane, his third. And that is the 6th foul of the half going against Tampa. One more, and Eckerd will be in the bonus. 18 fouls, but a 6-point lead for Eckerd. 16 fouls in the second half for Tampa. We didn't get to those numbers until the final minute of first half action. So more urgency, more physicality in the second half for sure. Koa Baker, top of the key. 10 on the shot clock. He's working on, gets switched on by Blount. Now Baker taking himself, drives baseline, spins, rips through a couple defenders, off the top of the rim and in. Koa Baker with a tough shot to extend the lead to 8. Tampa keeping it on the perimeter to start. It's Higdon in his left hand, picks it up for Lane. Long range, nothing but net. And Trey Lane has made his second triple of the night. We're down to about 5.5 in this second half, and we've got a good one brewing in our hands. 66-61, Eckerd out in front. And we'll take a quick break before the final 5.5 minutes of tonight's basketball doubleheader.
Get a preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. For 30 years, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill has been the official gathering spot for Tampa Bay Rays fans. Located in downtown St. Pete, Ferg's encompasses nearly 2 city blocks with both indoor and outdoor seating with live music. When watching your next Tampa Bay sporting event, check out Ferg's. Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Novak and Powell. To achieve your financial life on better terms,
Tritons have led for almost the entirety of tonight's matchup after the Lady Tritons took their 5th straight win against Tampa. Eckerd tries to follow suit with what would be their 3rd straight win after falling in their conference opener against Barry. Nate March alongside myself, Josh Sperber, for the conference home opener for Eckerd. Koa Baker taking it as Brady Patterson is now checked back in for the Tritons. Yumpart and Baker staying on with Brady. Treisman and Thompson have returned to action as well. Patterson dishes down to Treisman, top of the key with Blount on him. Shot clock down to 10, game clock down to 5 minutes to go. Patterson over to Baker, 6 on the clock. Treisman turns around and meets a defender. He backs around his man, 1 on the clock, high arcing shot, no, and a foul called with 1 second left on the shot clock. Kyler Lamb, the culprit. It's a shooting foul anyway, so Wyatt Treisman will shoot 2, but from here on out, Eckerd and Tampa will be shooting at least 1 free throw per foul.
Well, that's as well of an executed possession as you could have. Take 29 seconds down and get to the free throw line. I've got to say, for a team that likes to play frenetically like Tampa does, their full court press has been particularly toothless. I'm a little surprised that, especially as it gets late, there's no wrinkles added to it whatsoever. No traps or a surprise three-quarter court zone or anything like that. It's been a pretty tepid man-to-man press.
Especially considering the Tritons, who just got 2 of 2 free throws from Wyatt Treisman, have usually been beating it on the second or third pass from the baseline. So something to think about for the final 5 minutes as Lane opens one up from deep. Air balls again. Thompson pushed out of bounds by Lamb, and it will stay with Eckerd anyway. And I love the way Timothy Thompson's playing off the bench.
Yeah, Timothy Thompson bringing that energy, and he'll head to the other end as we're going to see a parade to the free throw line the rest of the way, both teams in the bonus.
They are going to call that a foul on Tampa. I believe that was on Kyler Lamb again, and that is going to be his 5th and final foul, so he will exit for the final time. 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and that's all he got. Caden McCormick will check in. Timothy Thompson to shoot 1 of potentially 2. And it rolls its way in. I think Timothy Thompson was holding his breath for a second because that one just hung on the top of the rim. Thompson now 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. Tritons lead back up to 8. He takes another one. No good. Koa Baker picks it up, though, and spins away from the Tampa defense. Time is on Eckerd's side here as Wyatt Treisman works on Blount. Finds the baseline. Crosses over. Switches back into his left hand. Now Treisman, the step back, picks it up for Patterson. 5 on the shot clock. Patterson through his legs. Soft jumper, no. Baker rips it down, and he puts it in! What a play by Koa Baker. A last-ditch heave at the waning seconds of the shot clock. 10-point Triton lead.
Johnny on the spot for the Tritons. He puts himself in great positions to make big plays.
That's his 10th for Koa. He's got 8 boards as well. Jacob Davis nearing in a double-double as well. Trey Lane sticks it for a second 3 of the half. 7-point Eckerd lead. And what I'm interested to see is which big Coach Goluski's going to have on for the big stretch run, whether it's his tried and trusted Timothy Thompson or Jacob Davis, who has been having an excellent first start tonight.
Wouldn't be surprised if he gets back to Davis at some point just for a little better free throw shooting.
And Mikel Umpart through the contact gets it to go. The Spaniards got 13 with 7 boards, lead up to 9.
See, Coach Goluski's got the bench bugged. He's taking my advice on this.
Yeah, I think he's really listened to us, and we appreciate that, Coach. I'll be sure to tell him that postgame. McCormick with the entry pass for Higdon, who floats it in. Treisman trying to get in there as Patterson loses it, but it's poked away off a black jersey. Might even be a foul, but we will see some substitutions. B.J. Schaefer, Jacob Davis get ready to check in for Tampa and Eckerd respectively, but it appears that we will have the final timeout of the night. 3 minutes, 7 seconds to go, 7-3, 66, Eckerd over Tampa. Second half finishing up next.
This is a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles.
Eckerd's lead is 7. They have led for almost the entirety of this one, maybe about a minute, if that Tampa has been in control. But the defense for Eckerd continuing to shine, and the timely shots from just about everyone. 3 players in double figures currently on the court. Jacob Davis, Mikel Umpart, Brady Patterson, Koa Baker, all over 10 points, with Patterson at the free throw line, missing the 1-and-1, and a whistle blown. I think it's a lane violation on Ryan Blount.
Yeah, Tampa really can't do anything right now. You finally get the front end of the 1-1 miss, you commit the lane violation. Yeah, their press hasn't forced a single turnover, but has led to 2 fouls. And now the Tritons are going to go to a small ball lineup here down the stretch, it looks like.
So I don't know how much longer Davis will be off the court, but he's taken out in exchange for Tim Taiwo as Koa Baker goes over to the coaches. Tritons will get another shot after the lane violations as each team goes back to the benches with the referees working out something over with the scorers table.
Yeah, one of the officials, he's asked for the monitor. And I mean, it was a missed front. I don't think a lane violation is.
I don't think it is either, but
so I can't
I don't
think what
know
else they would have been looking at.
I'm not really sure what else it could be, but while the refs are busy figuring out the call, just want to remind you guys that this is not the last time that you will hear Nate and myself on your airwaves this week. Make sure to get here on Saturday for Alumni Night as the Tritons host another men's and women's doubleheader against Lynn. Eckerd ladies on a 5-game win streak. Triton men trying to get their first conference victory and make it 3 straight games, as we'll also now take a look with Nate at the Sunshine State Conference scoreboard.
Yes, men's games going on tonight. Barry is getting blasted by Nova Southeastern, 63-38. Florida Southern St. Leo locked up in a good one, under 5 to play, 79-77. Florida Southern leading. And Lynn is getting drubbed at Palm Beach Atlantic, 82-50 with about 10 minutes left.
So take 2 on the 1-and-1. It goes in from Brady Patterson. He is now 1 for 2 from the line, tied for the team lead with 13 points. And now he takes the team lead with his 14th as he gets nothing but net on the second. So the Tritons lead is back to 9 as Trey Lane crosses up Patterson. Long range from Taylor. Great recovery from Koa Baker, disrupting the shot as Eckerd picks up the board.
This is a Tampa team that has broke 90 in all but one of their games, broke 100 on multiple times this season so far. The Tritons have just really turned them down.
And a whole lot of foot traffic at the basket. 2 Spartans went down to the court. Wyatt Shreesman almost had to step over some down Spartans to make that basket. And Coach Link Darner not liking it. And I'm not sure if he got a technical or not, or if that was just a timeout called. As the ref explained it to Coach Gillespie. I'm starting to think it's not a technical. I just might have been seeing things.
Number 22, Mikael Lompart. This is a technical.
Lompart just received a technical foul.
I thought the tech was going to be on the coach for jawing at the referee about the 2 Spartans falling to the earth, but that is not the case. And Trey Lane makes the first of 2 technical free throws. Ali Pasquet is getting ready to check in, presumably for Mikael Lompart. And there he is, Ali Pasquet, coming in for the first time tonight. 6th game of action. He is 2 for 5 from the field so far this season. Lead back down to 9 for Eckerd. Tampa retains possession after the tech on Lompart, which is his 2nd foul overall. And Taiwo gets it off the Koa Baker strip. Great defensive play once again by the Tritons, who look to sweep their first conference doubleheader of the season. Brady Patterson off the handoff from Taiwo, who gets back to it. Now Shreesman working on Blount. The jab step, the shot, puts it in! Wyatt Shreesman from long range, and it's a 12-point Triton lead. Taiwo goes for the steal, but McCormick keeps possession. He spins, he shoots, and a smooth layup from Caden McCormick. Glad to hear he's playing well aside from that injury. That was scary a little bit earlier. 10-point game now, 1.5 minutes to go, and you can bet the Tritons are going to milk this shot clock for all it's worth in the next 1.5 minutes. Koa Baker in control. Taylor on him. Baker has the baseline to himself. Up and under, no, but Baker is fouled. Taylor, I believe, will get the foul. McCormick there as well, but it's Justin Taylor who picks up his second. 2 shots for Koa Baker, and the next foul on Tampa puts them in the double bonus.
Wanted to point out the turnover by Blount, not the last time down the floor, but the time before that, his 5th turnover. Tritons have just taken him completely out of this game. He has not scored in the second half. And he has been erratic with the basketball over his 38 minutes on the court.
And you have to think that's one of the reasons that Eckerd's been able to pull away, even when Tampa was knocking on the door early in that half. Just after Blount went 5 for 10 from the field, he's 0 for 4 in the second half. His 5 for 10 numbers in the first half, but Eckerd has just taken him out of the game on the offensive side of the ball as Koa Baker gets ready for the first shot. Easy one for Baker. Free throw percentage leader for Eckerd last season, and he is now, from the free throw line, 41 for 42 on the season. You heard that right. 1 free throw missed in his first 42.
I spent 2 games last week trying to jinx him and couldn't. You did it. You did it.
Yeah, of course you're going to blame that one on me.
You said 41 of 42. They violated the lane. He gets it back.
All right, good. The broadcaster's jinx doesn't get Koa Baker there. Leading the way for Tritons with 19 points a game and 8 boards a game. Leading those averages for Eckerd on both sides. Now Baker, take 2 for his second free throw. Wow, we jinxed him real hard. As the broadcaster drinks, keeps it 11-point game. Yumpar tries to take it away, but he touches it last. McCormick closest to it for Tampa. Taylor will come in on the inbound. B.J. Schaefer checks back in for the Spartans. He's with McCormick, Taylor, and Lane, as well as Ryan Blount. Now Schaefer gets the pass. Nice dish from Lane, and the bucket from B.J. Schaefer, who's got 12. Timeout called. I believe it is against Tampa. And we will take what I think is going to be our final break of the night. Minute 13 to go. Tritons on the cusp of their first conference win of the season. 81-72 in this crosstown rivalry in St. Pete. We'll return next.
Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. For 30 years, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill has been the official gathering spot for Tampa Bay Rays fans. Located in downtown St. Pete, Ferg's encompasses nearly 2 city blocks with both indoor and outdoor seating with live music. When watching your next Tampa Bay sporting event, check out Ferg's. Thank you to preferred partner of Eckerd Athletics, Novak and Powell. To achieve your financial life on better terms, thank the financial service advisors of Novak and Powell at novakpowell.com. Novak and Powell helps from managing and preserving your wealth to leaving a legacy for your loved ones. Thank you to preferred hotel partner of Eckerd Athletics, Residence Inn. Experience a peaceful waterfront getaway at Residence Inn.
Nine-point lead for the Tritons in 73 seconds left in the home conference opener for Eckerd. Looking to take their second home defeat in Tampa in a row, but what would be their first home win in the MacArthur Center against Tampa since December of 2019. As Yumpar gets it off the inbound from Taiwo. Quick passing from the Tritons. Baker has Treisman wide open, but doesn't see him, and he gets fouled before he can find the open man. So Baker back to the line again, where he is 1 for 2 on the night. And Caden McCormick is ready to re-enter for Tampa as Baker, Eckerd's leading free throw shooter, returns to the charity stripe. So Baker gets the first. It's good. Eckerd in the full bonus now as their lead returns to double digits. McCormick checks in for Ian Higdon. So Baker going for the second one. Schaefer, Speen, Blount, Lane, and McCormick for Tampa. Baker hits the second. Patterson, Taiwo, Treisman, and Yumpart also on for Eckerd.
Four Tritons in double figures. Patterson 14, Treisman and Yompart 13. Baker with 13 now for the free throws. And then you have Jacob Davis, 9 and 9.
And Wyatt Treisman with the denial at the baseline. Trey Lane came up, and Wyatt Treisman sent him right down. Still off on Eckerd, but Treisman with the dramatic stuff near the rim.
Denial's a river in Egypt. That was flat-out rejection.
That's a good one. Nate March, the comedian, everybody. 11-point Eckerd lead. That ball goes nowhere into the back court. It won't be a violation because it never touched a Spartan. Blount gets it off the tip from Taiwo. He goes up and under, still can't get it to go. Taiwo rips down the board, and Tampa has to foul Brady Patterson. And that is the final foul that Trey Lane will receive. His fifth ends his night. 20 points and 5 boards for Trey. And Eckerd can taste victory, up by 11 with 47 seconds left.
And thought Tampa might decide to huddle up, burn the 30 seconds that you get to make the substitution after a foul out, but Link Darner, I think, is resigned to the Spartans' fate in this one.
So Brady Patterson rims out of the free throw line. His first miss from the charity stripe, where he is 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 3 from deep, and 2 for 3 now from the free throw line. And he makes the second one. Eckerd's lead up to 12 with 47 to go. Caden McCormick in his left hand, sprinting down the court, and a new player enter, Drew Newpol for Tampa, gives it to Taylor, who lofts it over the Tritons to bring the lead down to 10. 36 seconds on the game clock, 30 on the shot clock, so 6 seconds separating. Taiwo finds Baker wide open, makes the catch inbounds. He's going underneath the rim, gets the shot up, but it won't count or fall. Baker to the line for 2. Taylor on the foul, his third.
Foul called on number 7, B.J. Schaefer.
Or sorry, that was on B.J. Schaefer, still his third. At least I got some of it right.
Number 1, Koa Baker.
And Koa Baker putting his 3 for 4 free throw line to the test, make that 4 for 5 as he gets the first one to fall. 14 points for Baker. If he makes this next one, he'll tie Brady Patterson for the scoring lead. And Baker makes them both. Surprise, surprise from Koa. 5 for 6 from the free throw line as the shot clock is now off. Schaefer spins, gets fouled. So that puts Tampa now in the double bonus. 10th first team foul for Eckerd of the half, coming with 21 and a half to go. But it will do little as Eckerd up 12 and looks like they're clear for the victory.
Just really impressed with the defensive intensity the Tritons brought throughout the night tonight.
Holding Tampa to 45 from the field, 32 from the three-point line, and out-rebounding Tampa by 18 boards as Schaefer makes them both. 2 will check in for the Spartans. Taylor will exit, McCormick will exit, and entering for Tampa, Malachi Martis and Mati Speen. So Tampa will take it out underneath their own basket as the wet part of the court is mopped out. Patterson, Yompart, Baker, Treisman, and Taiwo, the 5 on the floor for Eckerd, who just have to wait out the shot clock. No shot clock is on. 21 and a half seconds to go as Taiwo traverses the underside of the basket, and Baker is sandwiched between 2 Spartans. He'll go back to the line. Either Speen or Martis on the foul. With that has taken a second and a half off the clock.
And I don't think that Link Darner wanted them to continue following it. I think he wanted them to form the trap there, see if they get a steal and get it back. Yeah, they just went straight for the trip up.
And it sends the Tritons' best free throw shooter to the line. Eckerd 14 for 22 from the charity stripe today. Baker responsible for 5 of those makes and 6 of those shots. Make it 6 for 7 as Baker swishes the first. He leads all scorers with 16.
See Blount leave in frustration, subbed out Jorge Cardenas, the freshman from Monterrey, Mexico, comes on for Tampa.
And Ali Pasque ready by the Eckerd scorers table. And another tandem of free throws for Koa Baker, and he will exit with 17 points, leading all Tritons, unless Brady Patterson adds in another. 19.9 seconds to go. Cardenas crosses the timeline. Tampa will likely look for one last bucket and try to lose by less than double digits. 7 on the shot clock for the Spartans. In comes Lanier. And now a nice move from Speen, but it can't fall. Pasque picks up the board, and that will do it for the Eckerd Tritons. 88-76, a convincing home win to start the Sunshine State Conference slate here at the MacArthur Center, and you couldn't ask for much more from the Eckerd Tritons.
Tritons got it done on defense. They smother a high-scoring Tampa attack, held them to their second lowest point total of the season, and made home court count.
For more on that, we're going to have a chat with a couple of Tritons players and coaches after this. So stay tuned for the Eckerd postgame show after the Tritons take down Tampa 88-76. Postgame interviews with Brian Goluski next.
Welcome inside Eckerd Tritons postgame. Josh Sperber, Nate March, and our first guest after a Tritons 88-76 victory over the Tampa Spartans is the freshman big man, Jacob Davis. 9 points, 9 boards in his first start for the Tritons. First of all, Jacob, congratulations on big night in your first start with Eckerd.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So what goes to your mind when Coach Gillespie comes to you and tabs you and says, hey, big guy, you're man in the middle tonight. You gave 23 huge minutes. You've been a contributor from day one walking in here, but what's that like to get your first experience in the starting five?
I mean, it's definitely just something to look forward to, being behind guys like Timothy Thompson, Micah Pierce, older guys, and being able to play with them in practice and see the competitiveness at this level is definitely something to look at and to learn from. But just to come in straight away and be able to produce and add value and just be consistent, I'm just blessed that I have a wonderful team that works well with me, and we have some great coaching staff and great group of guys, and we can just get it done.
And you guys certainly got it done tonight. I mean, the defense was just magnificent, holding Tampa to their lowest scoring total of all season. I mean, how do you guys prepare for a team like this on the defensive end and then execute on the court?
I mean, it's definitely hard. Tampa is definitely a competitive team. But I think the main thing is just to be together, communication, just trust the guys that you have next to you. We have a bunch of defenders Tim Taiwo did a great job today. Wyatt Treisman had a bunch of blocks today. To be able to trust those guys to be in the spots that we know them to be in, be able to talk and communicate through any mistakes, and just be on the same page. I think that's the reason why we saw so much success today.
Last question, we'll get you out of here. Jacob, you've also shown that you can be potent floating out to the outside when the situation calls for it, and if the opposing team doesn't respect you out there. Just tell us, who are some people that you've modeled your game after growing up to have that inside-outside skill set?
To be honest, my favorite guy growing up has been Shaq. Shooting has not always been, a strong suit of mine, but past few years, seeing the guys in the league now, people I look up to is Karl Anthony Towns, even Nikola Jokic, Dirk Nowitzki, or some legend that I look up to, and kind of being to emulate what they do and being able to stretch the floor while also dominate inside. I think is very vital to the game today, and I'm just happy that I'm able to go out there and produce like that.
Jacob, thank you so much for joining us here on Tritons Postgame. We're going to hand the headset over to head coach Brian Goluski, who's going to join us here once again. A 12-point win for the Tritons. They win for the third time in a row. After knocking off the two Puerto Rican teams out of conference last week, Tritons pick up their first conference victory of the season. And, I think, Coach Gillespie, you're probably in agreement. The defense tonight was about as impressive as your team has played this year.
Yeah, if you want to use the word proud, extremely proud of the way the guys defended. And the physicality and toughness in the first half was exceptional. And, we knew Tampa was going to come back in the second half and punch, so our start wasn't great. But, we know what happens in that locker room, in the battles we have in conversation and then on the floor. And you've seen us in the last 6 games kind of move in the right direction. And to come out like that, a true testament to our staff that put the game plan together and our kids believed. And it was a college basketball game. Really proud of our guys tonight.
And just to touch on the starts a little bit, I mean, you guys really rebounded well after missing your first couple shots in each half. When a situation like that arises, how do you motivate your team to just pick it up and turn things around like you clearly did tonight?
Well, it's been a work in progress because obviously I think if you asked us how we wanted to start the year, we had guys that wanted to score a lot of points, and then maybe the defense would have been secondary, and maybe not understanding how you need to rebound in this league, but it's something we harped on. And I would say we've gotten better over the last couple of weeks in understanding that shots are not going to fall, but we got to defend, we got to rebound, we got to impose physicality because that's just how we're going to play all year. And I mean, I'm so excited for the guys because they did exactly what we asked them to do, and that's part of it. That's coaching.
I want to dial in on one specific play. Tampa took their one and only lead of the game at 15:27 to go in the second half. And then Tim Tywoo threw down one of the most vicious rim rockers I've ever seen in the MacArthur Center. You've seen basketball in here going back to the 90s. Where does that rank on one of the best in-game dunks you've seen here?
I've been around in a lot of great, Eckerd players here, and they've had some fantastic dunks. But what Tim did there, he can do. You should see more of that throughout the season. I'm not quite sure what his delay has been in the last 6 games in doing that. But, again, he has transitioned really well, and this was great motivation for him. He is a kid with extremely excellent athleticism, so I think it's not going to be the last time you see him up on the rim.
BYOT, bring your own trampoline. That's what I said.
That's it.
Well, he certainly did. And one last question before you go, Coach. We talked a little bit about this with Jacob in his first start. Timothy Thompson's been here for such a long time, and it's not an easy decision to send a guy who's been a regular starter to the bench, even as well as Davis has been playing. Yeah. I mean, what went into that decision, and obviously how pleased are you for that paying off?
Yeah, it's acceptance by our guys. It's not easy. And Timmy, I tell you, is one of the best human beings I've ever been around in my life. And he's a do-it guy. And I know when I said to him 2 days ago I was going to make the change, he said, yes, Coach. But as a former player and anybody that's played this game, when that conversation between you and a coach happens, you do the right, you say the right thing, but deep in your head, you're like, dang, dude. I mean, it really. But that's what we're preaching in the locker room. Timmy's going to play throughout the year. We need his physicality. We need his rebounding. Everybody has a role on this team. And you hear college basketball coaches talk at this time of year, and that's what we're building. We're building players that have to accept their roles, and hopefully we continue to grow. And then, come February, March, you guys are like, hey, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. We're going to see you again right back here on Saturday against the Fighting Knights.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
And you'll see me in a tie next time because I can't compete with this wardrobe you guys got going on.
I got a bunch. If you need one, let me know.
I might have to take you up on that, Coach.
Thanks, guys. All right.
So once again, the Tritons with a 12-point win over Tampa, getting big nights from Koa Baker, Brady Patterson, and in his first collegiate start, Jacob Davis going for 9 points and 9 boards in 23 minutes. Josh, any final thoughts for us before we head off into this good night?
Well, I'm thinking about changing my name to Jeremy now. But on a more serious note, I mean, you can talk about the individual play of Davis, of Baker, of Patterson coming off the bench the way he did, but this was a team win. This was a win authored by great defense against a tough conference opponent that has continually ranked him on the top of the Sunshine State Conference. This is the kind of win that for some teams it can be a statement win, a season-defining win, as Eckerd obviously looks to make it back to the postseason. But this is the kind of game that you need to win, and Eckerd did just that. Excellent defense, good shooting when they needed to. They got things done from the free throw line, and I'm excited to see them do it again against Lynn on Saturday.
All right, Triton's doubleheader sweep tonight, taking supremacy by the Bay into 2026 as the Eckerd women and Eckerd men both victorious over Tampa on this Wednesday night, December 3rd. 2 o'clock tip for the women on Saturday, 4:30 tip for the men, and you'll be able to catch it with us here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. For our student-led production crew, thank you so much, and thank you to you for tuning in. Have a good night.